What is going on, guys? My name is Tyler Tote. I am grateful for you on my YouTube channel, man. This is my first time ever streaming. I've been asked to do this a couple times, and so I'm gonna start doing this once a week or so. If you guys like it, let me know what you think about it. I'd actually be grateful at the end of this to let me know ways I could improve this. I'm a guy who really likes to get better at the things that I do. I've been a poker player for about 19 years, 9 of them professionally, and really consistent. I played a lot bigger games than I do now as a 39-year-old dad of 3 young kids, run a business and a couple other things, but I still really enjoy poker. I've lived in Vegas now for 36 months, and 36 months in a row, I've booked wins on WSOP. Mainly play 100 NL and 50 NL. So I have 2 games here fired up at 50 NL over on table 2 and 4, we'll call them. And here on table 1 and 3, I have 20 NL. I'm not too familiar with the player pool there, but I assume it overlaps. And so I'm going to do a little play and explain here for you guys and see if we can get in some fun hands. I'll be really open and honest. I do not study off the table like I used to. Again, poker was probably at one point in my life the most important thing, or right up there, 1 or 2. This will be a value bet if it's checked to us. And at this point in my life, it's going to fall at 6 or 7, but I still love the game. I'm super grateful for it. I wrote a book that I'll link down below called How I Made $1.7 Million Playing Poker. The really cool thing I think I've done in my career is just be very consistent. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Always put myself in good spots and games I can beat. And, that's why I don't play any higher than I do now. I think I probably have the ability to beat a little bit higher stakes than I currently play. But I tend to just like to play lower stakes and kind of be one of the better players in them. And I enjoy the game, man. I really enjoy the little nuances of poker and all the little stuff about it. So hopefully we'll get into some fun spots today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, I'm going to call it over here table 1, table 2, table 3, and table 4. So it looks like table 3, 20 and L. We got ace jack suited on the button, slam dunk open. We got an open limp in the cutoff, which you won't see much. I don't recommend. I'm just going to go ahead and check the ace 8. Don't really know what to make of it. We get a very small 3-bet from this guy, and we're going to go ahead and obviously defend here with the ace jack suited. I don't think there's much else to do. I'm happy to play a pot in position with the ace jack suited. Not very happy with that flop. We do have 1 diamond, 2 overs, and we'll see how we're going to proceed. Probably a lot depends on his sizing. Again, I don't know any of these players, and I really think at the small stakes, you don't have to be really fancy. You don't have to make crazy plays. You can tend to be a little tighter and just make hands and get paid. Guys are definitely most of the leaks here. They're just going to be playing way too many hands. I'm actually just going to go ahead and pitch this. He goes for like 80% pot, and even if I turn a jack, I'm not like super pumped about it. I usually play 10 games at a time. I'm just going to play 4 here. This is the first time I've ever done this. And so, again, any feedback after this would be much appreciated. We get squeezed here with the jack 10 off. I'm going to go ahead and just fold this. I don't really see much else to do. We'll note that he's 3-bet us a couple times, but he might just have a couple good hands. Here we flop a gutter and 3rd pair, and I'm going to go ahead and c-bet very small. It's a decent result. He just shoves under the gun for 9 big blinds. I am not a tournament guy. I have no idea if this is a call. I'm just going to fold. With 3 players behind us, I don't know. Maybe that's a call. I feel like it can't be that wrong either way. Ace 8 off. I'm going to go ahead and fold. We've got another limp under the gun. This is the second time this guy's limped. The note on him is that he's a fun player. I'm going to go ahead and pop it up to a little under 5x and then raise ace 6 suited. Here we've got a raise and the same guy shoves again. We've got ace queen. I'm going to go ahead and ISO it and bump it up to about 20 big blinds here. 21. Really good flop on table 1 as we flop 2 overs in the nut flush draw. And we flop top pair here, and I'm going to start with a very small bet. About 3rd pot. So we get in good here with the ace queen and the king 10. Really good result. I'm going to start out betting really small here with the 2 overs and a flush draw. Looks like we went ahead and won the top one. We have all the ace queens and all the really good hands, and he doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1 more size here for close to pot, pretty big, and then we'll look to showdown and check most rivers unless we improve with the 6. I think he can call here with a lot worse hands. He can pick up diamond draws, things like that. I don't see any merit here to betting or getting value, so I'm going to go ahead and check back. And so we did get value there from the draw, and that's why I like sizing up on the turn. Here with still 2 overs and a flush draw, they both call. I think we have 2 plays here. We can either go big, and here we're just going to go small c-bet. think we can either go big and try and win the pot and we still have a lot of equity, or we can just check back and try and improve, which I'm actually going to do. We don't, sadly. My more tables keep popping up. I usually play 10 at a time. Today we're just playing 4 because I feel like this is already going to be hard. Play and explain. Here, I'm just going to show it down. I don't expect to fold out a 9. I'll be honest, at these stakes, I don't expect to even fold out like 7s a lot and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and check. That's one where I could have barreled and probably won, but the king 10 of diamonds would have been nice to hit a diamond. And happy to just check this back and show down our 5, and we're good sometimes, and it looks like we are there. Again, a small little c-bet on the flop kind of gets us there. Looking back with the nut flush draw, I could probably bet there. I didn't really like the 9 turn because I feel like it connected with the board, and people could have 2 pair and slam that in my face. And now, if I go ahead and bet $5 there and they jam, now I'm in a predicament where, I don't get to see the river. I kind of like just checking back there. I'm not invested for much. If I hit my hand, I'm still going to stack that guy with the king high flush draw, I'm sure. Don't really hate the way I played it, but I also don't mind just betting close to pot there and trying to win the pot as is. Queen 8, I'm going to go ahead and fold. There's a lot of short stacks. I actually don't see this a lot on this site, but a lot of short stacks today, it looks like. And the big reason on table 2 that we ISO'd, we're just smashing that guy's range, but we don't really want another hand to come in position with the ace queen there. We're way ahead of him. And when we go ahead and make it, 20x there, 20 big blinds, he basically has to play tried and true. There's nothing really he can do there. I'm going to do that with all my premium hands. And so, he's going to have to be pretty face up and tell us what he has. We flopped the nut flush draw here. I'm going to start with a small bet. Third pot. You can see I like the small bet a lot, especially in these low stakes. Players just tend to fold when they don't hit a lot. And now I'm going to start to put a little more pressure on. Hands like Jack 10, hands like 8, 9 that have pairs and gut shots. I think it's fine to go pretty big here. Don't know this player at all, but I'm going to go ahead and do about 90% pot. And we get the fold, which is a good result. Obviously opening ace 6 suited here. I just go barely over min open. I think it's pretty standard in today's game. I know back when I used to play a long time ago, man, 18, 19 years ago, everybody was 3 and 4xing. Seems like the standard now is min open or a little over. Yeah, I do have some pretty fun poker stories. I've put out a vlog. I'm currently in the midst of a bankroll challenge 2 months ago, I think. My wife and I, we own a farm back in Illinois, and we paid it off, but I emptied my poker clip to do it. I kept a pretty hefty poker bankroll for the last while, but I don't play bigger games anymore. It was pretty unnecessary to keep that much cash. And so I emptied the clip all the way down to $3,000, which I keep on WSOP to play the stakes I play. And so I decided to do a bankroll challenge from 3K up to 100K. We currently sit at 8,900. This session will count towards it, and all the sessions I play and stream here will count towards it too. I won't be playing much live until my kids go to school here in about 7 or 8 months, and then I expect to play live a whole lot more, and it'll pick up, I think, and go a lot faster. But until then, yeah, the last few months were up. Maybe it's been 3 months. I think I put out a video a month, and we put out 3 videos. We have the 4th coming out here soon. So I can link those below too. And if you're a big poker fan, man, those are pretty fun. I tell some fun stories from the past. I never played like nosebleeds or any crazy stakes, but I did play some pretty big games back in the day and hung out with a lot of the characters you've seen on TV if you're a poker fan and things like that. So I do have some pretty crazy stories. I share one really kind of crazy and fun story in all those videos. So be sure to check those out too. Pretty easy to defend here at King 6. I think you can 3-bet this sometimes too, but I'm just going to go ahead and call in position and see a flop. Pretty crazy flop here. Favors him. I would expect him to bet a lot more. He has all the pairs, all the big pairs, stuff like that. But I'm just going to start with a check with king high. I think is fine. When he goes 60, not much else to do. I'm just going to throw the hand away. Here, I'm going to go ahead and start with a small c-bet. Yeah, he can definitely have more 3s in the big blind, but we also have a lot of big hands here, all the over pairs, things like that. So I'm going to just start to bet. We'll defend the ace 5. Don't play a lot of heads up. Don't know this guy, but I'll stay and play. Here I'm going to go ahead and check and probably call at least 1. I think we chop a decent amount here. We flop and open-ended, so we're going to go ahead and start with a small bet. And checking the ace high over again. I don't really see much purpose in betting here. Could do a little small block bet, but I think we're only getting called by like 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 9s, hands like that. I think he shows down ace high quite a bit, and we just get to chop the pot. Maybe we even win. And I think it's important to note here that, again, why I would call on the flop or on the turn is that we only bet third pot, and so he's going to call with a lot of his overcards. Yeah, like you can see here, he peeled with Jack 9 suited. That's a hand he should start bluffing with on the turn if he's going to call with Jack 9 suited there. We're going to go ahead and fold that. This definitely favors us as the pre-flop raiser. I'm going to go ahead and start to bet small, which I would do with all my big pairs and things like that. Expect him to call a lot. I'm going to go ahead and check this over to him and see what happens. Again, we bet really small, so I'm not ready to just give up the hand. And here, I'm going to actually do something crazy. I'm just going to rip it. I have all the big pairs. I think he bets with a boat on the turn. I really don't think he shows up with boats, and I can have him. So I'm going to go ahead and rip and try not to split the pot. And we get a fold, which is nice. We turn a 3 here. I think we have the best hand a lot. Go ahead and bet half pot. And here, a pretty slam dunk 3-bet against a button open with ace king. I know what to make of this. I'm going to go ahead and C1 here. Don't see this line a lot. Where he check backs and then just a small raise. A lot of times it's just to get to showdown. Might have the same 3. I expect if he bets big here, he flopped huge. And here there's nothing to do but fold. I have the bad end of the straight draw. And here I accidentally folded. This is something I'm going to have to get better at. Realizing time bank. Here he bets $1. I feel like he's just repping a 10 or a deuce. Can't think of any bluff he might have here. It's just weird to go quarter pot on a bluff, so I'm just going to go ahead and give this one up. I would like to call with the 7s there, but unfortunately timed out. It's something I'm really going to have to pay attention to. And again, when I play 10 tables, I never do anything else but play poker when I play poker, no matter how small the stakes or whatever it is. I take notes a lot. Look at that hero fold, baby. I folded the 7s just knowing he had the 8s. Actually, it was a mistake. But yeah, I never really do anything else when I play poker. And I think it's important to kind of know and talk to yourself about the reasons why you play poker. I do think it's awesome, man. And poker's such a fun game for everybody that obviously open an ace 7 here. That, hey, maybe you're just a recreational player. You just play for total fun. You have extra money and it's super fun to you to just gamble a little bit. And I think that's awesome, man. You know, show up and play and don't really worry about it and stay within your limits and enjoy it. I'm going to check back the 7 here. Probably try and get to showdown here. I don't see much reason to bet. Open the Jack 9 against this guy. Blind versus blind. Not a terrible flop. Here, this guy's super tight. My note on him is 0 bluffs. He's the same guy that showed up with the ace king. I'm just going to go ahead and fold. No, it's pretty tight. And with the Jack 9 10, I'm actually going to bet somewhat bigger here. Try and fold out some random stuff. Start to tell a story. It's a really good turn. I'm going to go ahead and bet big again. Put some heat on some of his other hands. Eights here. We're going to go ahead and just flat. Here, this is a tough river because I don't think I'm ever going to fold out a 10. I think he's just going to slam dunk call. This is a really nice flop. We flop a boat up on table 1. I think I can go small here and just try and fold out like 5, 6, ace 5 wheel hands. There was no flush draw on the turn. I'm actually just going to give this one up. And if this is check to us, I'm going to go ahead and check and hope that this guy fires. And this one, there's nothing to do here except fold. If it's check to us again, I'll start to bet and start to try and get some money in the pot here. Hopefully people chase a flush draw or something like that. I'm going to go a little below 50% because obviously I don't want anything to fold here. If somebody has a king, I expect them to tell me. It'd be great to get check raised by one of these guys. And obviously if they have king 9, it's just cooler and we're going to lose some money. But we're beating all the other kings. Slam dunk 3-bet here. Now we lose to king queen with ace queen against the button. 10 jack gets there, which is really good. This is a great flop for our range. We'll have all the over pairs. I'm going to go ahead and start to bet. I'm going to go really big here. We turn a wheel. We're probably going to bet again. I'm actually going to go a little over pot here with full house. I think he's going to pay off every king, every 10 jack. And if he rips there, I think we can really start to think about folding. We're going to bet here again. Let me check the note. Never folding. That's my note on him. Always good to know. I think it's probably fine to bet small. It's probably fine to check. I'm going to go ahead and check. Here when we turn open-ended and he's checked to us twice, I'm going to go ahead and bet. Big objective here is just fold out ace high and fold out like pocket fours, pocket fives, things like this. This is really bizarre. He bets $1 into 17. I guess there's a chance we could be drawn dead. Maybe just flop quads or something like that. But for we only have to be good 1 out of 36 times or whatever this is. So we're going to call. We hit a queen. I think it's fine to lead and block here. I think it's also fine to check and decide. I'm going to go ahead and check it over to him. And again, that's why you can't really fold on the turn. Looking back, it's probably better to just bet small there and fold to a shove. He's probably going to be pretty honest there. I'm sure if I had to guess, so we had the best hand. He had ace-9 off, ace-9 suited. Guys will take some really strange lines at these stakes, and that's why I think it's always just good to basically play solid cards. Here, same guy opens. My note on him is not folding, so we're going to go ahead and pump it up on the button with 2 black kings. Beautiful sight, and obviously opening ace-jack suited on table 3. He goes pot here. We have second pair, no kicker. I'm just going to fold. And we get cold 4 by a guy named, I actually don't want to say his name, so probably going to edit those out. I think a lot of options here, man. Is anyone's good. I think we can click it back. We're happy to get it in here for 70 bigs. I'm going to go ahead and start with a small bet over here. I'm actually going to go ahead and click it back. I think flatting's not terrible too, but I'm going to click it back to him. We get min raised, and he folds to click it back. So yeah, if I have aces there, I'm a lot more likely to flat. Ace king suited. My bluffs there are going to be ace-5 suited and some other hands like that. We get min raised. We're calling 50 cents into 340. Backdoor royal flush draw. I'm not a big fan of folding that when we're getting great price. So I'm gonna go ahead and call. Warning bells are going up whenever guys min raise at these stakes. Seems like they're always pretty big. I would guess when he goes half pot here, to be honest, he just has a good 10, something like that. I don't see really any reason to continue. I'm gonna go ahead and fold. It's something to note, though, that guy that does 3-bet and then instantly folds to a click back, that he's seeing that I'm seeing a good spot there, too. Go ahead and small c-bet here. With kind of a weaker player opening, a guy that posted and called, it's a pretty good spot for me to squeeze. And so maybe he's aware of that, too. Just good to note those things. King 7 suited against a limper. I'm actually going to go ahead and pop this one up to 5.5x. Don't expect guys to be limping very strong hands. King 7 suited in position plays pretty good. And we flap a king. This guy is really aggro here. It's good to note. Seems to be 3-betting quite a bit. Not much we can do with that hand. I'm going to go ahead and check back here. I know there's a flush draw. We can get value from some things, but on a lot of my weaker kings, I just like to check back here. And then we can even go for 2 streets if it's check again. We can get like 8s, 9s, hands like that to call. A min lead is real strange. I'm just going to go ahead and peel. You could almost see that as a check and just go ahead and pop it up to like $1.20 or so, but I'm okay with just calling. If it's checked us, I don't know if we'll find a value bet now that the club comes in. And 8, now he goes pot. That's real weird. I probably should have just popped the turn. If I had to do over again, that's what I would do. And I'm gonna go ahead and fold that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. The backdoor hearts here, I'm gonna go ahead and start with a small bet. Looks like we're playing the aggro guy heads up. Nope, another guy sat. It's a hand where I can have a lot of options when I lead small there if he continues. So we get 3-bet with a 4-5 suited. Could consider clicking it back. I'm just going to go ahead and call in position. Hope to hit a flop versus this guy. We haven't really connected yet, and he seems pretty aggro. I would assume a lot of the guys at 20 and L are just going to be overly aggro or overly tight. There are definitely players in these games that literally show up with no bluffs, even versus regs. And I'm a big fan of saying, hey, there's certain guys I play that I will literally never bluff against because they're just literally never folding, 3rd pair or anything. So there's no reason to show up with bluffs, but if you're playing anybody who's competent at all and you never show up with bluffs, you're just very easy to play against. So it's always good to be kind of noting, hey man, this guy had a perfect spot to bluff and he didn't, hey, this, if you see that over and over again, they just become very easy to play against. Conversely, some of the guys will always take the most aggro line and Obviously, you want to lay a lot more traps for those guys. Real important to bet here. We can bet really small. He limps, not folding. Just go ahead and complete. But we want to start to fold out hands like 5s, 6s, hands like that with a really small bet. Can accomplish that. We have the ace of clubs. It's pretty slam dunk. We'll go ahead and call here. Checks through. I was going to say there's a lot of turns here I would start to bet. Obviously an 8, a 3, any kind of lower card, lower spade. Queen of diamonds isn't one that I want to start betting because I can have no outs. If it checks through again, I was going to say if it's like another queen or 7 or a 5 or a board pairing card, I might consider betting. I'm going to get called by every jack now. Into 2 players, and one of them noted that he's never going to fold. I'm going to go ahead and just show it down. Expect to lose every time. The old check and lose play. It's good to see what he limped on the button. So he limped ace deuce suited on the button, which is good to note. Hopefully we can get another few spots here. I usually play mid-morning and it's evening here. We have a babysitter for another like 15 minutes. So hopped on and decided to record my first one here. Don't really feel super alert or like I would be playing my best tonight, but definitely still think I'm pretty favored in these games. Opening queen 10 here. We get 3 callers. Nothing really doing, and this guy has $4.80. We're gonna go ahead and fold. I'm gonna defend the 7-8 off here. Getting 3-1 from the big blind. Jacks is a pretty good hand. We're gonna open that, obviously. Interesting flop here. We can still get value from some hands. And I'm gonna go ahead and 3-bet 3-4 suited. We haven't 3-bet this guy much. When he leads into us for pot, and I think so often that just means a queen. Almost always. But I think it can mean king jack. I have the jack of diamonds. Yeah, I'm gonna peel 1 and see what happens. It's a pretty good turn for us. And we're gonna start with a really small bet here. Now he checks. We're gonna go ahead and just rep ace high here and fire out a small bet and fold out all of his junk. We're definitely gonna get called by ace high and every king and jack, obviously. I'm gonna check this back. And good result on table 3 is he folded to that C bet. And yeah, there he had ace high. Not trying to bluff that hand out. Half pot. I really don't know what to make of this, to be honest. Just leading pot. I think it is a queen a lot, but I don't know what some guys at the stakes can show up with. It's half pot. Don't have to be good that often. I'm gonna go ahead and call. And so he's value betting second pair, I guess. Again, I'm just basing that off my hand strength. Hey, he checked back turn. We only have to be good there half the time or whatnot. And so it just seems like we're definitely going to be. Interesting spot here where the same guy squeezes. I'd assume he's a decent player. I'm just going to wait for a better hand and fold. It's really exploitable if I'm opening queen 10 suited and folding to a lot of 3-bets. You know, if I notice it's a pattern, I'll definitely start to fight back a lot more. But my main strategy in these games, to be perfectly honest, just not put myself in tricky spots, out of position versus competent players. Earlier today, I played a little session where I had a guy just 4-bet jam on me. I had aces and he had jack 7 offsuit. And so that was at 100 NL and for over 100 big blind. So you can get yourself in some really good spots online just by staying patient, playing solid, and letting other people make mistakes. And so, you know, I've never been one to say, man, I'm a very winning poker player. I've had a really long career of winning, but man, I have zero ego when it comes to saying like, yeah, I'm the best. I can beat this person, that person. I just put myself in really good spots, really good games and play somewhat snug and tight aggressive and see little spots when I can find them. Even here, I think this is fine to 3-bet and squeeze, but I'm just going to fold pocket 3s. I don't think it's going to play well. I'd rather have a hand like even queen jack suited, 9-10 suited, something like that. It's just I don't want to call. His range is so wide. He's always gonna be wide, and I'm basically either flop a set or fold to 4.5 big blinds. Out of the small blind, I'm always gonna be out of position. I can find better spots than that. Let's flop a set here with deuces, baby. We got a guy limping here on table, and you can see a pattern starting to develop here. It's just something you want to note. Hey, he limps, he mashes the pot button. So you can start to 3-bet a lot lighter, and especially in position, but not as light as queen six suited. Here with the deuces, we're going to start with a small c-bet. And obviously checking here. It's going to say the backdoor nut flush draw, but we didn't turn it. King, we're just going to go ahead and check. And I don't think there's any reason to bluff here. Maybe flatted with ace high, queen high. He'll check down, show down. I think we win some of the time. So there's no real reason to do anything but check and show it down, and we do. And he did have ace four, so he showed down the ace high, which is kind of what we thought could happen. Of course, he can have a pair there and beat us, but again, I don't see any reason to do anything else. This guy's limp back-to-back hands. I think it's fine to pop this one up. I'm going to go 5x. And this is a weaker player limping. We're going to go ahead and raise up here, raise him up here. The ace 8 suited. Let's root for some hearts on table 2 and 4. We just steal that one. And obviously we flop nothing here, but we're going to hope he flop nothing too and just fire out a pretty small c-bet. Should do the trick to fold out like 3s, 4s, 5s. He's probably not going to fold any of his cut shots, queen highs, and things like that. We have absolutely nothing. This is a player who I have noted is he is never folding ever. That's my note. And so I'm pretty happy to check this back. Maybe we hit an ace. Maybe he just shows down queen jack now. Don't expect to win a lot here, but again, I'm never going to bluff and even try and run a guy off a 6 here. That's just never folding ever. And definitely not trying to fold him off top pair. And so you can see even there where we kind of tilt the odds in our favor, where, hey, he's limping king 10. We're playing a better hand in position. And even when he outflops us, he wins 1 bet of, 3.5 big blinds, something like that. And so you can see where, we really can tilt the odds in our favor just by trying to play better hands in position versus weaker opponents. That's basically what you're trying to do with these low stakes games. And I think you can see a lot of success in that way. Holding the ace-6 offsuit, I think that's a leak. I'm currently coaching, or just got finished coaching a guy who plays 5 cent, 10 cent for just a few sessions and sweat him, and that was a big leak. He just played every ace from everywhere. Well, it's the best card, right? Yeah, but if you're opening, ace-6 offsuit, even if you hit an ace, you can't feel good about it. It just should be a fold from early position always. And it's good to start to think about poker in terms of ranges. If you're new, I'm going to pop this guy up again. I expect him to call with everything. I've got ace-8 in position against him. Nice turn here as we turn trips on table 3. We'll start to bet. Got a heart just in case. Pretty easy bet. I think even if he calls with 6 or 7, we've got decent equity. We get min raised here. Really nothing to do but call. Now we have a 4 high flush. We're just hoping he has ace 5 now and we sucked out. Now he kind of pots it into us when the king turns. Again, if I have a king here, I'm going to win a lot of money or a good king. I don't even expect him to fold a 7 here. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay the hand down. And let's see what we won with here. Hey, look at that. We had a free roll on him. He had 4-5. We had 4-5 with the heart. And so we got there. It's going to go ahead and be a 3-bet out of the small blind with the king jack suited. Hand plays really well. And again, you're going to see this guy limping. Looks like, we just note him as a weaker player. He's limping constantly. King jack suited took it down. We have the ace of hearts here in second pair. So be a pretty slam dunk check call. If it checks through, we'll start to bet for value on a lot of turns. Not a 10 jack queen ace or 10 jack queen, but pretty much anything else, and especially that. not the result we're looking for, but take it down. The thing about poker is they have to have something too. Just because you have a big hand doesn't mean you always get paid. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments too if you're watching this, man. You know, what level are you at poker? What are your goals with poker? You know, we're coming up to the new year. I'm really big into goal setting. I'm on Twitter at Tyromper, and that was my Poker Stars screen name for a decade or so. I didn't have any. I'm gonna actually no. I'm just gonna play here. I didn't have any Twitter following 3 years ago, and now just coming up on 100,000. So I've been really consistent with that. I think that's the one thing that's brought me a lot of success in everything I've done. Is just I've been very relentlessly consistent at it. I don't think I'm the best poker player, the best tweeter, the best, you know, whatever, fill in the blank, the strongest guy at the gym, whatever that is. But I tend to stay in good shape because I go consistently, whether I feel like it or not. I tend to do well at the things I do. So I show up pretty consistently. And that's always my goal is just, you know, you can't be perfect. You can be consistent. You can try and get a little bit better each day at whatever you're doing. So let me know what your goals are, man. I'd love to know, you know, hey, maybe you're just a guy trying to build $1,000 bankroll to see what he can do, or maybe it's play a World Series event. You know, I've gotten to play. Actually, gonna go ahead and fold this hand. This guy never folds, and I'm gonna 3-bet him a lot more value heavy. Not that I'll never 3-bet that there, but I can look for better spots. I've played the World Series Poker main event 4 times, not with much success. Cash has always been my forte. I've made day 2 a couple times, but that was it. Played a couple other World Series events. Biggest tournament score, I won 72,000. I got 3rd in the Sunday Million on Poker Stars back like over a decade ago now. But yeah, tournaments wasn't really my thing, but I know that's for a lot of people. It's, hey, I want to play a World Series event, or I want to, you know, have this kind of bankroll to play these tournaments, or whatever that is. So let me know, man. I would love to know. I can talk poker all day. Again, I think at this point I probably played 10, 12 million hands. I was a Supernova Elite grinder for a year back on Poker Stars too, a 24 tabler. So yeah, I love poker. I love the game, all the little nuances of it. So let me know. I'd love to connect and come hang with me on Twitter too. That's where I'm every single day, kind of sharing life, sharing the journey over there, man. So come give me a follow over there at Tyromper too. I have a babysitter here for, looks like 4 more minutes. So we'll try and get into a couple spots here for 3 more minutes. Then I got to write a check and get to go do the dad thing again. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, I really want to reiterate, I'm really not one of those guys that'll get offended. So if you tell me, hey, man, I think this aspect could be a lot better, try this. I'm really, really open to that kind of feedback, especially if you want to start doing this a couple times a week and putting out some content, and can either play some, you know, play some 100 NL, play some whatever. I have an editor who's awesome. Shout out to Alex. He has a great YouTube channel too. Hey, Alex, fire your YouTube channel up here so we can shout that out to the people too. Hit that link too. But yeah, he's an awesome guy. And what he'll do is just block out the screen names. Because that was one thing I was kind of worried about and why I never really wanted to stream is, hey, man, that seems like kind of a big disadvantage if I'm telling people, yeah, I don't really have many 3-bet bluffs against this guy because he overcalls. Well, if that guy happens to watch that, can be in a little trouble. I got a chance to hang out with a really awesome guy, Kevin Martin, here in Vegas not that long ago. This is a pretty player-specific 3-bet here. With pocket threes, it's kind of a slam dunk call, but man, he overfolds. So I'll 3-bet him with King 4 suited, all kinds of stuff, because he just does not defend 3-bets ever, like literally ever. He either 4-bets or folds, and he doesn't bluff from what I've seen. Yeah, it's pretty slam dunk 3-bet. So yeah, anyway, I was hanging with Kevin Martin, and you know, he plays high stakes tournaments while streaming, and I'm like, dude, you know, a lot of these guys can probably see what you're doing and you're talking about your strategy. I find that it's got to be so hard. I think that takes a very, very unique skill level, but he was a cool guy, man. I got to hang out with him for a while. We played some pickleball. He's super athletic. It was a really, really fun day. And another limp on the button. We're going to start with just a very small bet here. I have all the big pairs. Start to put a lot of heat on some later streets. Expect him to call here pretty wide. I was hoping for any kind of big card turn. 8's definitely going to be better for him. He'll have all the pocket 8s and things like that. I don't really mind checking here. I don't really mind betting like I'm going to bet like 9 and really tell a story of like Jacks plus. I'm okay with just checking this back this time. Trying to make a hand. Did bet really small on the flop. Don't think there's much chance we're going to win here, but I also don't think there's much chance we're going to fold out a lot. It'd be really hard to even fold out like 7, 6s, anything like that with this line. So we're just going to take our showdown. We did bet really small on the flops. Chance he can flat with like ace 10 of hearts, king queen of hearts. I would expect him to bluff some of those, but yeah, pocket 6s. And I'm okay with my line there for sure. Any big card, again, I said big card, we were going to start to put a lot more heat on. But with that turn and that player, I just don't expect him to fold enough. So I'm okay. Folding in here, I'm actually going to flat. I tend to do this just again, versus this player. I flat him with some pretty good hands, and I 3-bet him with some junk and some real premiums. Other players probably know this about him too, though, which makes it kind of tricky, is he can definitely squeeze light here too, because he just literally never defends 3-bets. I think this is a fine flat, actually. We're pretty deep. It's a huge squeeze, but I'm in position. We got 9s, and we got 1 minute till the babysitter's over, so we got a dream, baby. Let's flop a 9. Pretty good looking flop outside of that. See how to continue. We're going to sit out here next big blind. He starts with a third pot. Again, this is going to favor his range as he's got all the big cards. I don't think it's a big mistake here. And I'm going to start betting down here to go ahead and pop this up to like 18. But I'm going to go ahead and start with a call. It's decent that it's a spade, but bad that it's a king. That's a card that I expect him to barrel a lot on. Now, even if he has like ace jack with a spade, ace queen with a spade, he can put a lot of heat on us and make our life not fun. So yeah, I kind of expected him to do that. I can't even remember the action down here, to be quite honest. I think I just defended. Go ahead and check. I'm just going to go ahead and fold this one. I think, man, I'm going to be put in a really tough river spot if he jams. I think I'm still winning part of the time, but I don't know this player enough. I can be in a world of hurt, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the passive line and fold. All in all, for the first time around, I felt lost a couple times. Felt a little tired here. I think I'll improve quite a bit at this, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to go do the dad thing. Much love. Be kind to your fellow neighbor. Be kind to yourself. And let's go have a good day, baby.